Welcome again to The Jump, where we not only are bringing back newly selected Hall of Famer Chris Bosh, but yes, 3-time NBA champ, 13-time All-Star, Jazz part owner, and game show host Dwyane Wade also returning to The Jump. Dwyane, thanks for hopping back on with us.
Oh, of course, always. And CB on the show, I was like, I can't miss it.
Exactly. And by the way, we're going to talk a lot about basketball, but I need to understand more about this new game show you have debuting tomorrow on TBS, because it's called The Cube. And does this mean that you've moved to a cube? Is that where you are talking to us from right now? Do they bring you food in the cube? Are there games in the cube? How does this work?
Yeah, it's like your own person. It's like my own personal bubble. Right?
There you go.
So, no, you know what? I never thought I would be sitting here adding game show host to the resume. But, you know, the opportunity at the right time when the world needed it, it presented itself to be able to bring something that can bring people together, that can bring joy and laughter. And so I started as executive producer on The Cube that's been a big success in the UK for the last 11, going on its 12th year now. And we adopted it here, and now from here, man, it's just for me to try to put my own sauce to it. And it was the hardest thing for me to accomplish. Like winning 2 championships with Chris Bosh was a little easier for me.
I mean, you know, you got to invite guests to the Cube. You got to decorate the Cube. I'm seeing a lot for season 2. That's all I'm saying.
It's endless potential. We can have like NBA champion Cube. We can have like superstar. We can have hosts, game show hosts, like jump hosts. Like we can have everything. We can do everything on the Cube. So it's an honor for me to be able to move into a different arena and hopefully bring the same joy that I brought in another arena when I play basketball.
Chris, I think that Dwyane just invited us both to the Cube. Do you feel you have game shows in your future too? I think you'll be very good at it.
Oh yeah, of course. I've been on Jeopardy a couple times. You know, I love game shows. I used to like watch them. That's like the best part about D Wade. He does things that connect you with other people. Like I watched Wheel of Fortune with my grandma all the time. You know what I mean? And now he's a game show. It's the craziest thing, but it was so cool. I told them when they were previewing the episode, I watched it with my daughter, and it was after the playoffs, and we were just kind of checking it out. It was a good time. It gets you. I will say that. It got us. We were just glued to our seats. But please, do check it out. It's a good time.
I love that. And by the way, I love the idea. Now you said Jeopardy of you and Aaron Rodgers competing to be Jeopardy hosts. We're going to get to that in a different segment. I got to get to some hoops, guys, because
Rachel, before we move on to hoops, like Chris said, one of the things I really loved about the show is like the Cube and going in there and competing is one thing, but it was what was happening outside the Cube, right? It was really the connection that you're going to sit on that couch, you're going to be able to feel to the contestants that's on the show. The contestants make the show, their stories, the way they're into it, what they're playing for. You know, some people are playing for their communities, some was playing for their rent money, some was playing for their weddings. Like, it's so many different stories, and we can all sit back and watch them and say, I see myself in them, and I want them to succeed, and I want them to win. So that was one of the greatest parts about even doing the show, was what happens outside the Cube.
I love that. I love that. We saw so many ways you connected with people when you were in Miami, especially in that last year. We're going to get to your final year in a second. I do want to get to your present, though. Besides game show host, you are a part owner of the Utah Jazz now. Very fancy. And we saw you giving tips to Donovan Mitchell in Utah during the game last night. And here's what Donovan had to say about it.
You know, it's great to have, someone that I call my brother, sitting courtside, being part of this organization, just trying to help me out and find ways to improve. And not just with myself, but finding ways with the team. And, I think that's the biggest thing. And just, I'm grateful that he's able to do that. Not a lot of guys do that, and be able to do it, especially live action in a playoff game. But, it was great.
That last part, Dwyane, you and I have talked for years about your relationship with Donovan and how it's grown, but the idea that now, because of your relationship with the team, you can actually sit there and talk to him during a playoff game. What was that like?
Well, the only reason I'm able to do that and feel comfortable enough to do it is because I got the blessings from Coach Quinn. I got to give the shout out to Coach. He really has allowed me to come in and feel that my voice is needed and my voice can be heard. And so that's the only reason I stepped over that line, to be on the sideline and talking to the guys while they're playing. But me and Donovan have always had a special relationship. As he said, he was my little brother, at first, and now we're here together, man. We're both doing this, and he's special. You know, I don't want to take any credit for his performance, any credit for his success. I just want to be able to add the things that I learned from the game of basketball and be able to plant that on him, and also what I learned off the court and what I'm still learning off the court. I want to be able to raise him even higher. So not only getting the opportunity to be a part owner of an NBA team, which is CB, I know you thinking like that's crazy. Like we were just playing Pac-Man downstairs. And we were just playing Pac-Man at 2 in the morning not too long ago. and to be able to do it to not only to Ryan Smith, to Ryan Sweeney, and Mike Cannon-Brooks, the ownership group that the Utah Jazz have is an amazing ownership group. We're all 42 and under at this point, and you know we're really just trying to take what Gail Miller and Larry Miller, the Miller family, you know, did in Utah, and we're just trying to continue to elevate and continue to evolve what they've done with this platform. And we're led by guys like Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert.
I mean, by the way, people who don't know what that reference was to, Dwyane and Gabby had a, correct me if I'm wrong, this arcade table, Pac-Man arcade table, and your wife would tell me that she would wander downstairs in her own home and find Chris Bosh sitting there without having, to her knowledge, to even use the front door playing Pac-Man. So, you know, teammates, man.
It was therapy and everything.
Hey, CB, it was therapy. Listen, them big 3 times wasn't all good. It was some stressful times. Pac-Man was therapy.
For sure. Oh, for sure. We had to do something else. I'd just walk over, and it didn't matter. It's just like I could get a good meal from Chef. I know he's there. I know where to go. Yeah, I know where to go. It's all good.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.